series, Cocktail History, where we take a cocktail and the history of that cocktail and blend it with a little world history today, as well as Freeborn County history. I'm Stephanie Kibler, the director here at the Freeborn County Historical Museum, Library and Village, and this is Rachel Lillian collections here at the museum. I was trying to think how we put that into words, because she does so much more than just exhibits and collections. So anyway, today we are featuring a classic Gin and Tonic, or G&T. And it's actually one of the most famous gin cocktails of all time. It made a revival again, apparently in 2015.
Yeah,
really popular.
I did read that.
Although I prefer a vodka tonic. Gin and tonic, I know a lot of people have been drinking gin and tonic for years. So,
Well, I don't know when Scott Pilgrim versus the World came out, but I know like he ordered that in it. He was like, 2 gin and tonics, please.
yeah, I had to go Google that because I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of that. Yeah, it's in a classic Billy Joel song, "The Piano Man."
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. I would sing this, but you don't want me to. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me making love to his tonic and gin. So yeah, it shows up quite often. It's through movies, through songs. Voodoo Dolls did a song with it. Who else did I see? A lot. Anyway,
It's out there.
we're rambling. The British soldiers is what I had inadvertently created the gin and tonic. When they were taking their quinine for malaria, they also had a ration of gin. And I'm not sure which they were talking about was bitter.
Well,
The quinine is bitter to some.
yeah.
But they then created, added water and sugar. And did they add lime at that time?
I don't think they did. Oh, they might
Well,
have.
it says, yeah, it says they did. I suppose it depends on where they were located tropically. Lime, I would think, would be hard for a lot of them to find, but.
Yeah, but if they're tropical because of the malaria, they probably were
Correct.
able to
Right.
find the line. Yeah.
I did forget to introduce our
Little buddy.
our mascot here today too. World War I. We are going to be looking for a name for him, so watch our Facebook page.
Yeah.
We'd like everybody to weigh in on what he should be called. But mascots were popular during World War I, and this guy is part of our exhibit, and we'll talk more about his attire as we go
Yeah.
along. So
Fun.
anyway,
How do we start it off?
started off with filling our glasses with ice.
Okay, let's see.
Not like overflowing, but you
Oh.
might want to pour them in
Yeah.
there. We need new tongs.
Those are sad dogs.
I think they're Hy-Vee tongs.
Oh.
I think they came with a catered meal at one point that we kept them.
Oh my.
And you'll want to like ample amount of ice in there.
More?
Oh yeah,
Oh my. Okay. We gotta ice it up here.
there, like that.
Well, I'm one who says like no ice.
Perfect, that's
for-
good, that's good. Let's get rid of
For
this.
drive-through, like
Oh.
when you're.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm one of those.
And then we're gonna add 2 ounces to each of our glasses. You wanna do that? You're closer
Yeah,
over
I
there.
can do that.
Flip that.
The big one. Oh.
So we do 2 ounces of gin, and again, we're using the Bombay Sapphire, not for any particular reason other than that's what we had on hand.
Is it 2 in
2
each?
in each, yep, 2
Woo!
ounces in each.
And this one, it's the Bombay one. That's kind of tropical, isn't it?
It implies tropics, I don't know, is gin tropical? It comes from the juniper
one
berry,
is.
so.
Isn't that was Dutch at first,
Dutch,
wasn't it?
yes. And then we're gonna squeeze a tablespoon of fresh lime juice in. So I'm thinking if we could, you think we can
Squeeze
squeeze
it
one in
into
each of those? Be about a tablespoon, I think.
Got finger exercises here.
We're working with limited tools on like tablespoons and things here at the museum. That looks good, I would say. And one of those in each glass. And I noticed a lot of times too, when you order a gin and tonic out, they do not give you a squeeze of lime in there.
Oh,
So we're going the classic old school route with that today, being this is cocktail history.
so classy.
Um,
Almost, one more. Okay.
And then we're gonna add a slice of lime. You can do a slice or a wedge. We're gonna add a slice of lime to each glass.
I washed my
And,
hands too, so
oh,
we're good.
sorry. And we're gonna top it off with tonic water.
And they have cute little trees on them.
It's probably a picture of the, gotta look this one up, the quinquina tree.
Which
Which-
used to be
Well, it used to be the quinquina tree. That's the original name of it.
Right.
Back in Peru. But the Countess, and I don't know if we're gonna do this right,
Right.
Chinchan was living in Peru with her husband, a Spanish viceroy, when she fell ill with malaria, and he went to the local Incas for a remedy, and they had an herbal medicine from the quinquina
Yeah.
tree, which they then, after it cured her, decided to rename the tree the Cinchona tree.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put.
Yep, fill it, just
I didn't
top
know
it
if you
all the
wanted-
way to the top. And that's how you make a classic gin and tonic, or G&T.
Nice.
Yeah. You gonna try?
Yeah, I've only ever had like one
Oh,
sip.
there's one important step.
Do we have to stir it?
We are supposed to stir it, and I loved this recipe
Thank you.
because it actually said to stir with a long-necked spoon.
Haha.
Again, that's the whole proper tools while you're doing a cocktail. So, cheers to quinine. Oh, that's a nice drink. Oh, the lime is nice in there.
Oh.
That's much better than what I've had out and about.
And that's definitely like a summery drink, it feels like.
It is, actually, I think July is gin and tonic month.
Oh.
But the gin and tonic day is like October 19th.
Hmm.
Useless facts.
That's my dad's birthday.
Is it? Well, he's a gin and tonic birthday boy then.
Yeah.
There's an interesting fact. This one kind of scared me a little bit. In the early 20th century, gin was commonly flavored with turpentine.
That doesn't sound healthy.
Gave the gin a woody tone, complemented the juniper notes. I'm thinking ew.
Yeah.
So,
Ooh. We didn't do that.
we didn't
No.
do that. No, we didn't go that.
Yeah. And I know they reduced the amount of quinine that could be in tonic water because it was having adverse effects.
Right.
Yeah, like you could get nausea and like headaches, and then if it was really bad, you could go blind or lose your hearing.
And it does have kind of a funky aftertaste. If you have, if I were to drink a bottle of tonic, I will notice I have that aftertaste from the quinine.
What?
Yeah. So anyway, back to our pal here. Because this is one of the things during World War I, animals played a vital role. And became known as, they're called mascots, but really they were soldiers. They helped on the front line. From dogs to raccoons to alligators to pigeons.
Yeah.
Horses. Yeah, so it's really interesting to look at those stories. One of my favorites that I did discover was this little guy. I don't know if you're gonna see him up close, but his name is Stubby.
That's cute.
Sergeant Stubby, actually, and he is the most decorated war dog of World War I, and the only dog to be nominated for rank and then promoted to sergeant. And his remains are now at the Smithsonian Institution,
Aw.
so you can visit Stubby there. Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, I don't know, should I pull him forward so you can
Yeah,
see
let's pull him forward and then we can.
saddle? Skip where I spilled a little bit there. You see him here. Doo-doo-doo, he's got his little his little saddlebag here.
And what would they carry in their saddlebags?
So it would depend on what they were doing. A lot of them were messenger dogs, and so they would sneak through. They probably wouldn't have actually had a helmet, but
No.
so they would sneak through front lines to get to other places for information. Messengers in the war are like fascinating, and they had such dangerous jobs. But then they also had dogs that were first aid dogs, and so they would go and bring medical supplies to soldiers who had fallen on the battlefield, and they would also call other soldiers to
the
fallen
location.
soldiers as well.
They also would stay with a fallen
Yes.
soldier as a comforter a
Yep.
lot of times.
And even sometimes if a soldier just needed to sleep, they would stand guard as well. Yeah, so they could sleep with the dog being
And the
there
dog would
as
alert
an
if
alarm.
something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the story on our pal here, who is, like I said, part of our World War I exhibit, along with a lot of other interesting things.
Yeah.
We do have a uniform down there, I believe.
And he was a motor dispatch serviceman.
That's right.
So he's also was a messenger.
Yes.
Who was on a motorcycle most of the time.
Yeah, and it ties in with our whole military section now is newly done. So it does tie in again with the military, which we go from Civil War to Vietnam. But yeah, nice display with nameless,
Yeah, right
yet to
now.
be named. Carrier pigeons, that was also an interesting one. And they were used regularly.
Yeah, and to train them was difficult.
I'd like to know how they trained an alligator.
You got me on
Because
that
baby
one.
alligator popped up several times if you Google World War I mascots, and I'm thinking,
Well, and how did they even use them too? Just like in
maybe
the
they were
rivers?
messengers. I don't know. I did not get the details on that. So that might be something for you guys to Google, and maybe we'll have a contest.
Sure.
That would be a fun
Who
contest
can
to
tell
do.
us?
Who can tell us? Who knew? The other thing I thought was interesting, the bitterness to the quinine is a genetic thing. Not everybody thinks it tastes bitter. It's tied to your genes, Genes.
Yeah, you gotta be clear with me because my father's name is Gene. We just
Oh.
talked about his birthday, so.
Yeah, so we could get that muddled.
Yeah.
Could get that muddled.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our classic oh, did you want to talk about your shells here?
We just have some shells from World War I and II. A lot of times soldiers would bring these back from the battlefield as souvenirs just to remember, and a lot of them are kind of fun.
Well,
Like,
this one is
woo!
beautiful. It's,
You can see it.
it's decorated,
Yeah.
so these are also part of the
Our-
exhibit, or
it's
our
our hands-on
collections, are part of our
collection.
hands-on collections. So when you come in, or when we go out to schools, sometimes we will pull these things out, and they can actually be handled without gloves and.
Well, and like, I know when I was a kid, I just thought of when like shooting on the battlefield, it was only either huge cannons or it was little bullets. But these are pretty substantial
Yes.
weapons to
Yes.
be projectile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, this one too is quite pretty.
Yeah, it's got a heart on it.
It's got a heart on it, and it says, I don't know what it says, Argonne Meus, 1918.
I wonder if that sounds like a place in France. That's
That's
just
what
my
I would
guess.
guess.
But
And this one has a clover, a 4-leaf clover on it,
Oh.
also 1918. So, yeah, so in addition to coming in and looking at exhibits, a lot of the things that we do too are hands-on, especially with kids. And we encourage, we're trying harder with, it seemed to come at the same time. We increased our hands-on activities here at the museum and COVID,
yep,
which is
at the
hands-off.
same time.
So we're trying to really incorporate more hands-on in a safe way and still make it fun and interactive. And we're doing a pretty good job of it, but if you wanted to come in and we could show you some of these things, you can make an appointment with us and we're happy to do that. But anyway, I don't know, do you have anything else to add for World War I or?
I don't think so.
Okay. We have now on our YouTube channel, Echoes of the Past, which is something that we also will be posting a few more of those up. So just keep watching.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.